you should quit trying. You were too small, that you were too young. They tell you the chance is too slim, the world is too big, but you say how come? I'm ready to light a new fire, raise a new flag across a new sea. And if I'm ever the one in your way, then put your head down and run right through me. So why keep settling for so much less? Don't take what's given, just demand what's next. We're looking for an open door. It's something like a shadow in the valley, colossal. Open up your eyes, young one, and be watchful. Behind closed doors, trying to write a new gospel. They are not God, they're not even apostles. I come with the dumb drum banging you breathless. Enemies freeze, left bent and defenseless. Straight for the chest of anybody against us. The more they resist it, the more that they tempt us. So why keep settling for so much less? Don't take what's given, just demand what's next. We're looking for an open. We're looking for an open door. Something we didn't see before. And when we get out of here, we'll take
Oh boy. Yikes, man. I don't, this team is just like we're all gonna die at age 60. Like, my god, man. This team just, like, you think that they're finally figuring things out, right? You would think that they're like, oh hey, look, we're playing good and we're about to get like a solid win over like a pretty like okay team in the Houston Rockets, and it falls apart. Yet again, another game where that fourth quarter just looks so rough, and I'm like losing my mind, because like if the Bulls were doing the things that I was fine with in the fourth quarter and just happened to lose, like, okay, you know what, it's fine, we're good. I don't have anything to complain about. But we are doing some of the stupidest things in the fourth quarter in games recently, and I'm baffled by it. I just, it makes me so upset watching, and I'm like. I'm just like, Jesus, man. Things need to get fixed in that fourth quarter. And, like, the thing is that I don't think the fourth quarter has ever been fixed with this team. It seems like it will never be fixed, because they're like, oh, DeMar DeRozan, we just got to go to him every single time. But all that being said, I have to say this. Forget the last 3-ish minutes of regulation. This was one damn good win by the Bulls. This was a damn good win. And I am extremely impressed throughout, let's just say, 3.5 quarters of this game, okay? There was a lot going on in this game that isn't exactly always shown, and I don't think a lot of people maybe even realize it, because the funny thing is that the broadcast really didn't even start talking about the 3-pointers being taken until, honestly, like, late game. The Bulls shot 22 3-point shots in that first half. The Bulls did a lot tonight where I was like, hey, this is a modern day team. And I was so happy just to see it. There were many plays where Kobe White is out in transition, or whether that's him, doing something for someone else, or it's him coming down, hitting a transition 3. I was like, oh my god, we are finally seeing the modern day Bulls come to fruition. And I was so happy seeing how that was like finally starting to show. The Bulls were not hesitating from 3-point line. They were just jacking up threes like whenever they were open. I was so happy about that, because this is a team in the Houston Rockets that is so good defensively, and they don't give up paint points. You have to hit your threes. You have to take perimeter shots against this team, and the Bulls did that. I was like, wow, good job. Good game plan tonight. Y'all understood your opponent. You came in and were like, bam, we're here to play. I was like, oh my god, okay, maybe I was wrong about this team. And then the fourth quarter happened, where I thought the Bulls were doing just fine in the fourth. And I don't know what happens, but when that clock gets under 4 minutes, the typical plays that we see from this team go out the window. They're just gone. there was a play by the Bulls that was basically like a horn set double screen action by Kobe White that the Bulls were just destroying the Rockets with in that fourth quarter. They couldn't stop it. And it was basically Vooch and Zach come over and set a double screen. Zach flares out to the other wing, and Kobe comes around off the screen. The Rockets couldn't do crap. They didn't know what to do about it because Kobe's too fast. You got to make sure that Zach doesn't get an open 3-point shot. And Vooch is obviously, the in-between guy, whether he's rolling or fading. Like, the Rockets, they couldn't do a thing. And suddenly then, 4 minutes, under 4 minutes now, we got to go to DeRozan. And yet, I don't understand why this is the game to go to DeRozan. Look, I share a lot with what, William, you've already said, like, what other people are already seeing on Twitter. Like, look, I completely agree. DeMar DeRozan has done one hell of a job here in Chicago being a clutch master. He has been one of the most clutch players in the last 2.5 seasons, okay? I think DeRozan in the clutch is extremely underrated still. He is a damn good clutch player, all right? But in a game where DeRozan does not have it going, he has missed some shots that he typically makes. He isn't exactly doing the best things with the ball. A lot of his points are coming at the free throw line. He isn't shooting it well. Kobe White came into that fourth quarter being the leading scorer with 22 points, and he had 27 points getting into the last 4 minutes of the game. And for some reason, we decided, hey, we're going to scrap the play that the Rockets couldn't guard, and we're going to go over to DeRozan and have him basically try to close this one out. And I just don't get it. I just don't get it. There are games where DeMar DeRozan should be the guy down the stretch. And there's going to be a lot of those games where he should be the guy. A lot of the times, DeRozan isn't shooting, 5 or whatever he was shooting, but coming into the fourth. A lot of times, DeRozan's shooting close to 50% from the field. And he is, like I said, one of the best clutch players in the last 2.5 years. But in a game where he isn't really playing that well, and you got Kobe White, who has hit clutch shots for you all season, who has been the leader of this game, who is the leading scorer, and the Rockets could do damn crap against him tonight, you need to go to him. It's one of those games where you have to go to him. And I said this in the Charlotte game on Monday, because it's the exact same situation. The Bulls couldn't score in the last 3 minutes and 39 seconds against Charlotte, and it's just because we went to the whole DeRozan, we got to go to DeRozan, and in that game, DeRozan wasn't shooting that good either, and Kobe had it going. I'm not saying that, like, this should, like, I'm not saying that Kobe needs to be the guy down the stretch every single game, but there are games where he absolutely deserves to be the guy. And tonight's one of those games. On Monday, it was one of those games, and we need to go away from basically just giving the ball to DeRozan and saying, take us home, when he just doesn't have it tonight. And look, he's human. Like, these guys are human. There are just going to be, days, games, maybe even multiple games where they just don't have it, and you got to rely on the dude that suddenly has it going. Because we saw Kobe go through a shooting slump. That's gone. So take advantage and just ride that man, because he has been absolutely carrying you this entire game. So that's my end of my rant. I'm sure we share the same sentiments. So, like, please go ahead and, like, put it in the chat and whatever. It's so frustrating, because I honestly think this is like a 10-point win if we just continue to do what we were doing. And we decide to change things up down the stretch just because it's DeMar DeRozan, and again, I'm aware of his resume, but we need to, like, do we need to do that? I don't think so. This was a really, really frustrating way to end regulation, and my God, I thought we blew it in OT too. It was so bad to start overtime. When Şengün hit that Dirk Nowitzki fadeaway shot, I was like, oh no, it's over. Because at that point, Şengün wasn't really hitting anything outside. Everything was inside for Şengün. Vooch just couldn't guard him tonight. And that's no disrespect to Vooch. It's just that Şengün's that good. But the Bulls turned it around. Big credit to Zach LaVine tonight, because this was one hell of a game from Zach. We've been questioning whether Zach can come in and fit back into this, system in a sense. And I mean, if there is a game to ever tell you that this is a game, like Zach LaVine can fit into the system, well, it's Kobe White going off for 30 and Zach playing really good defense on and off ball, and also putting up 25 points on 15 shots. Like, that is the best way to, like, prove to everybody, yeah, I can fit into the system, and he did just that. He filled up the entire stat line tonight, and I was very impressed by him. And obviously, he had those 6 quick points in overtime, because if he didn't score those, then the Bulls don't win this game. So not only did we get one hell of an all-around performance by LaVine tonight on both ends of the floor, we got clutch shots by LaVine, which I know a lot of people have been questioning LaVine's clutchness. And LaVine's been kind of back and forth in his career in terms of his clutch ability. If you like the year he was first time an All-Star, he was like one of the best clutch players in the league. But obviously, then last season he did not perform well at all in the clutch. This year it's been on and off. He's had some very good clutch moments, and then he's also had some pretty bad ones too. And his 6 clutch points tonight were very much needed because my God, we needed his clutch points down the stretch. And remember, he's not as involved right now down the stretch. It's a lot of just DeRozan and Kobe. In this game, it was just mostly DeRozan. So he's adjusted, and I give him a ton of credit for what he did tonight. So big props to the backcourt. It is honestly the sweet life of Zach and Kobe yet again. That was the 2021 saying. And good win tonight. This is one hell of a win tonight. Overall, if we just forget about the last 4 minutes of regulation, because that was pretty treacherous in the last 4 minutes. So I have to give the Bulls a ton of credit for what they did tonight overall. So good job, I guess, in 44 minutes and I guess 2 minutes in OT. So yeah, I'll say 46 minutes tonight. What's going on, guys? I apologize for my rant to start the stream because I was pretty pissed. I'll say it. I was not happy after that at a regulation, and it just I'm not like a Donovan full out. I want to make it clear about Billy Donovan. I'm not a Donovan hater, okay, and I'm not really a Donovan supporter. I'm very back and forth when it comes to Billy Donovan. I kind of just stay neutral in a sense, but kind of lean towards I don't really fully support him. I'm not going to try to defend the dude as much as possible. But this is one of those games where I was like, okay, Donovan, your game plan tonight, I think you did a pretty damn good job. You recognize a lot of what Fred VanVleet likes to do, and then I think they did a pretty good job at Fred VanVleet, especially in that first half. They made sure that the other guys Jalen Gray, the Jabari Smith Jr.'s, they didn't have a lot to going for them tonight. And they did a good job on Şengün to start the game, but I don't know if that was more so about the Bulls or if that was just Şengün, because Şengün was struggling. So that I'm like, hey, Donovan, you did one good job tonight. That was good. But the last minutes, I'm just in my head, I don't understand it. I'm losing my mind because Donovan, when it comes down to in the last minutes of a game, he always trusts his veterans. It's always been this way. When you watch Billy Donovan for whatever team he's coaching, whatever players he has, it's always I'm giving it to our vets and they're gonna take us home. He's done this no matter who's been on the team, whether it was Russell Westbrook and Paul George, whether it was Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, whether it was CP3 and Dennis Schroeder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and obviously here with DeMar DeRozan. He's always done this, okay? But there are times where you need to understand that the vet that you trust a ton just doesn't have it going tonight. And not only do they not have it going, they're not exactly making the best decisions. And you got a guy here who, yes, might be younger, who you've given the starting keys to in terms of the point guard position. You got to trust that dude. And I just don't understand why he decided to go away from what Kobe was doing. And the last play, where in regulation, where it was just a straight DeRozan isolation, mid-range shot. I think Billy Donovan, throughout his career as a coach, and you can even just say this for his Bulls tenure, I think when it comes to those last timeouts, right, where it's all right, timeout, we're gonna drop a play here to try to win the game. I think he does a really damn good job with those. I think he does a really solid job of either getting a switch or getting a good overall idea of okay, here's your first option, here's your second option. And I think that overall he's done a good job. There have definitely been some games where it has not gone well for him, but he has mostly done a good job throughout his career of being, a pretty creative guy when it comes to those sort of plays. And to see him just straight up just draw up a DeRozan isolation with 23 seconds left to go is really frustrating. It is extremely frustrating because not only does DeRozan just not have it going and he's missed multiple shots in the last 3 minutes, you don't even try to use what Kobe White was doing tonight. You don't even use him as a decoy. And not only that, I actually thought the play was when DeRozan first caught the ball, I actually thought it was going to be a pick and roll between DeRozan and LaVine. Okay, I thought that it was just going to be those two guys. And we've seen that play before, where it's just DeRozan has the ball, LaVine sets the screen, he fades back out. That typically gets a switch, and we've seen DeRozan hit a game winner with that play against the New York Knicks last year in Madison Square Garden. I was like, okay, if that's the play, fine. Like, I'll live with it. It's not exactly what I would have drawn up, but like, I'll live with it. But he didn't even decide to do that, right? And that's like even the simplest of plays to even draw up. And I was like, man, we decided to just isolate DeRozan, who hasn't really hit a shot at all in like the last like quarter-ish. And again, Kobe has it going today, and you just don't even try to use him, just throw him in the corner. It's just so frustrating just to see. And this is just kind of like, this game is like my whole thing of Billy. I think defensively, he is a damn good coach when it comes to the defense. And yes, the Bulls have had their ups and downs, but Billy, so in his tenure as a coach, whichever team he's been on, his defense has been pretty solid. It's not amazing, but it's been solid. The offense, though, I lose my mind. Like, last year obviously was terrible. The start of this year has been pretty terrible. It's been pretty up and down this year still. It's obviously been better recently, but it just doesn't make any sense. And so I hope that this doesn't continue moving forward with the Bulls, but I don't know. I have some doubts in my head. But as I get off of this, whole tangent, and big shout out to everybody tonight. I think this was like the pure definition of team basketball from almost everybody. This was a very, very good win. Diamond even shortened his rotation to basically just 8 guys. It was basically an 8-man rotation tonight. And Terry got 6 minutes in the first half, but Diamond ran with 8 guys in the second half. So it's a very short rotation. Javon Carter is officially out of the rotation as of right now. So this was a very short rotation by Billy Donovan, and he clearly is in win now mode. Like, we gotta win from here on out. And so, a lot of credit to, I guess, that in a sense, because I do think the rotation did need to be shortened, especially with guys back. And the guys were able to pull through in another overtime win. But dear Lord, I hope the overtimes don't continue, because my God, this is just not great tonight. That last couple of minutes, yeah. I agree with you, William. I completely agree with what you said. Like, DeMar has hit amazing shots in his time as a Bull. He's hit incredible shots in his career, wherever he's been. But this just isn't one of those games where he should be handling things down the stretch. Absolutely not. Bipolar team for bipolar fans. We couldn't ask for anything less. Honestly, yeah, that's a true statement. They seem to freak out when things go well for them. I don't know if it's necessarily freak out. I just think that they decide, like, okay, we're in the this is like a consistent theme with this team. In the last 4-ish minutes, it just slows down. It slows down way too much, and it's really frustrating to see. They like to went to overtime, but good win, yeah, pretty good win. With a pretty favorable schedule, do you see us being able to jump any further in the standings? It's going to be really tough. So if you guys haven't watched my previous stream, just like scroll through it very quickly. But I went through the Bulls schedule for the rest of January, because I do think that there are some winnable games in upcoming here. It's not easy, but there is a lot more winnable games, as William has said, coming up for the Bulls. And overall, at least according to Tankathon, like in the middle of December, the Bulls have the second easiest schedule remaining. So it's definitely possible for the Bulls to start moving up. But I mean, for example, like, I give Golden State a slight edge, but like, it's kind of a toss-up. The Bulls should win this one. I don't know with this one. This is a toss-up. I think the Bulls should win this one. With John Morant out, I actually favor the Bulls, but leave it there. I favor the Bulls against the Phoenix Suns, because I don't know who's going to play that game. This is a toss-up. This should be a W. This should be a W. So like, there's a lot of favorable matchups just in the month of January, right? And then obviously we should finish it off with a win against Charlotte. So I do think that there is a chance for the Bulls to make up some ground here. But even with the win tonight, okay, and if I'm not mistaken, the Heat lost tonight, the Bulls are still we're still 4.5 back behind Miami, and also behind the 8th seed in Orlando, which is very funny because if Orlando just wins like 2 games, they can jump up to 4th here. It's tough. It's going to be extremely tough, and I think that for the Bulls to even start getting some ground in like the month-ish, before the trade deadline hits or the All-Star break, one of these teams that I'm circling here, they have to kind of go on a losing streak. The Knicks, as you can see, they're on a 5-game winning streak, so I seriously doubt that's going to happen. Cleveland's getting their guys back, so I don't think this is going to change either. So it's going to come down to, I think, the Magic, the Heat, and maybe the Pacers because of the Halliburton injury. But then they won against the Boston Celtics, who didn't have Tatum in that game. But that's a pretty significant injury, even if he's only out for 2 weeks. So I think that one of these teams has to start falling for the Bulls to maybe even jump up to the 8th seed. After that, I think it's even tougher. So I'll say that maybe the Bulls can get up to number 8. Unless like multiple teams start falling, which I just don't see, maybe the Bulls can get up to 8. But here's the thing we have to remind ourselves. The Bulls, even after this win, so they're not 18 and 21 after this win, we're 3 games under 500. These teams are 5 games over 500. That's the problem. That's the big issue with this whole thing of idea of like, okay, maybe the Bulls can gain ground here. So here's the updated standings now. Like I said, someone has to fall. From one of these teams to like get closer back down to 500 for the Bulls to start actually going back up in the standings. Because then I think the Bulls can get back to 500, but I don't know if they can get to 5 games over 500. I have my doubts about it. So one of these teams has to fall for the Bulls to even make up some ground, in my opinion. And I think it's possible. I think there could be a team that just starts falling. But even with that being said, I don't think this Bulls team is making it into like the 6th seed. I think it's already too late at this point in time. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see how this is gonna happen. Player-wise, we definitely get in the top 6. Will we though? It's a whole other topic. The duality of this Bulls team. I think if everyone's playing, well, like if LaVine is playing, obviously like what we saw tonight, and this is like better Zach LaVine than what we've seen in the past, like, I guess like half season, I could say, because his defense now was one hell of a good, effort. Like that's very good to see from Zach. But yeah, like I think that if everyone is playing at like a very high rate, Zach's fully healthy, playing at both ends. DeRozan isn't having a game like tonight, and obviously Kobe being Kobe, what he's been doing the last 2-ish months, and Vooch just continuing to be Vooch. I do think that this team has the talent to be in the top 6, but that's if everything goes right. And obviously the record to start this year was not very good. So it's very hard for the Bulls to suddenly be like, okay, yeah, we're suddenly able to jump into the top 6. It is so difficult to do so. So I think it's really tough. Now we're 4 games behind, 7 and 8. Sorry. Like I said, I think a team has to fall here, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. We can make up wins, we can't make up losses, and the people above us are like 5 losses less than us. Yeah, that's the big issue. So, like I said, like the team has to start like racking up the losses. So, I'm interested to see what the Magic do because their 3-point shooting is pretty awful. So maybe this is the team that could fall. Miami continues just to have injuries, but yet they continue to just like stay afloat. So we'll see what they do. But like I'm interested in the Pacers because of the Halliburton injury, but even then, so I think it's tough. I think Patrick is solidifying as a role player now. I think Patrick has basically solidified himself as a role player even like a long time ago. It's just that at the start of this year he wasn't playing like one. Now with what he's doing, coming off the bench and being like the main guy off the bench playing starting minutes, I mean, this is kind of what I think Patrick's role is going to be for his future, honestly. I want him to be a starter. Like I truly want Patrick Williams to actually be like a starting, player in this league because I think he can. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be an all-star, but with his skill set, with his ability to defend multiple positions and shoot the 3-ball really efficiently, like I think he can be a starter. The problem is, as we've talked about, is the output, right? The output from Pat, whether it's the scoring, whether it's the rebounding, whether it's the inconsistency with the stocks or whatever, it just doesn't really show enough to be like, yeah, he's a starting, consistent starter. When LaVine was out, I mean, I think he played really well. I think he was taking advantage of his limited shots, which he still, his usage percentage when LaVine was out was the same was with when LaVine was playing. Okay, like it wasn't like Pat was getting any more run. It was just that he was playing more minutes, and every shot he took, he was hitting. Like that's the thing with Pat is like he has to hit shots at like a pretty significant rate, or gets to the free throw line more. And he just doesn't get to the free throw line enough to like really warrant that. So I think that Pat is like a solidified role player. I think Pat has really shown to be like a really good role player. I would like for him to be a starter though. I really would be. I would love to see it. Is it gonna happen? I'm willing to give it more time. I'll say that, but we got a decision to make coming up here. Because if he's gonna be off the bench for like the rest of the season, it's gonna be interesting to see what the Bulls are actually gonna give him. I'll say that. It's an uphill battle the way towards top 6 for sure. But boy, was Zach Duncan. So I mean, look, it's gonna be interesting to see what Zach does, because I'm happy like throughout the first three games that Zach's been back. I'm very happy with what he's done. I'm aware that obviously in the last game against Charlotte, his scoring was not really there. I'm aware, okay? But the biggest thing for me in the first 5 games, when anyone returns from injury, is how are they moving, especially if it's a lower body injury. And for Zach specifically, because of all the questions, I just need to see him give more effort. Like, that's honestly it. Because obviously the start of the season with Zach, he was not giving effort. He wasn't giving effort on both ends of the floor. It truly looked like he was just checked out. And that was probably true, honestly. But the big thing for me is Zach's never going to be a good defender. Like, we talked about this on last stream. He's never going to be a good defender in a sense, okay? I know that people keep saying that he's so athletic and all this and that. I mean, look, if you just look at Zach's body, he's not very big. He is 6'6"-ish, but he doesn't have like a long wingspan, and he's pretty thin. So he isn't going to necessarily be that great of a defender. Like, if you're going to ask him to guard like 4s, he's not going to be able to guard him. And all I was honestly I wanted Zach just to do is just come in and just give effort specifically on ball on defense. That's all I asked, because I know he won't be a good off-ball defender. He will never be that. And what we saw tonight on both on and off ball, he was very, very good. He was hitting his rotations very effectively. And the biggest thing that I was noticing was when he's guarding guys who come and get the ball a lot, like a Fred VanVleet, like a Jalen Green, he was making sure to fight through those screens before they got the handoff or like the pass over, right? That to me is what I know that Zach LaVine could do that. His on-ball defense has been pretty solid throughout his career. Again, it's been on and off, but it's been relatively solid throughout his career. And I think that if the Bulls put him in that position more, where he's guarding a guy like Fred VanVleet, where he's guarding a guy that's going to have more on-ball things than off-ball stuff, I think it's going to put him in the best position in the defensive end and put the team in the best position in the defensive end, because he doesn't have to be the weak side rotator. Because we know when Zach's playing weak side rotation, dude, he is always late. He isn't aware of what's happening. And not only that, he's pretty small. Like, it's not like an effective weak side rotation. And I think this is what we saw tonight is a good formula for him moving forward, where we saw, obviously Kobe and Caruso were doing a lot of like a point of attack stuff, but if you have Zach also take some possessions where he is the point of attack defender, or he's like the wing defender where he's coming off all the screens and trailing guys, or we call it the trail defender, I think that's gonna honestly put him in a good position on the defensive end, because we've been watching Zach LaVine be like the off ball low activity defender for a long time now, and that hasn't worked. Like we know that hasn't worked. But if you ask him to play on-ball defense, I think he'll be more engaged. And I think the first 3 games show that so far since he's been back. And I hope this continues. I will say, I don't have faith that this is going to continue. Like I don't have faith that LaVine's defense is going to be this high caliber moving forward. But do I have faith that he'll give more effort on the defensive end, specifically on-ball defense? Yeah, I think he can do that. Like, it's not going to be what we saw tonight. The 3 steals in the first half, he's getting deflections in the passing lanes, he's coming over and doubling and stripping guys. That's probably not going to happen moving forward. I'm going to be real. Like that sort of stuff from Zach is just that's not going to happen. But can he give good on-ball effort? I think that can continue, and I'm looking honestly into seeing that if the Bulls do keep him, like I want to see that moving forward. So I don't know how, again, how much is sustainable when it comes to all this, but we'll see. We're gonna get our answers soon here, and I'll be interested. I'll say that for sure. I'm definitely interested to see how much this can continue. That passes Zach how he's playing a lot more flow in offense. Yeah, I think Zach, like, it's gonna be I've talked about it. If Zach's only gonna get 15 shots or 17, yeah, I'll say this, like, let's say 15 to 16, 17 shots a night. Like, there are obviously games where Zach has like 20 plus shots, and that's where he has like this big scoring, right? But if he's only at max gonna get 15 to 16, 17 shots a night, he's not gonna be putting up 25-point performances as consistently, right? This is obviously within the flow of the offense, which is very good, but we have to understand that if for him to play within the flow of the offense, we have to, take back how much we expect him to score every single night. So obviously tonight he was extremely efficient, hit 4 of 8 from 3, made 5 free throws, so he gets to 25. But let's say he only hit 6 shots, right? This number is probably down to like 19. So that's kind of where we just have to like temper our expectations for how much points he's gonna be putting up. But if that's within the flow of the offense, if that allows him to play more on the defensive end, it's a good trade-off. It's a very good trade-off. And everything that he did tonight, from the rebounding, from the steals that he was getting, to pushing the ball in transition, and obviously then taking threes when he was open, I loved it all. He obviously missed some early layups. I'm aware that was an issue before he even got injured this season, but I'm gonna be real. I don't know how healthy he was before the injury, before he sat out, and like that to me is a timing thing. Like I think that's just gonna get fixed as he continues to get back into game shape, because those layups he usually hits, even when he was struggling to hit some layups. So I'm not necessarily concerned about him, his finishing. I honestly think that since he's been back, he's been jumping higher, so that's good. And so I don't think that we need to really worry about that. But obviously his 3-point shot was going down tonight, which that needs to continue. I think that's honestly the bigger question moving forward. I like to see Pat get to foul more, rebound more, 2 very doable things with his friend. That would make him so much better. Yeah, and honestly, if Pat did everything you just said, Viper Strike, he 1000% be a starter. Like, he is a bona fide starter in this league. But because we know that he doesn't do that consistently, we've seen flashes, right? We can't trust him to do that. The thing that we know with Pat from here on out that we'll consistently get is that he's a good defender, whether he's on ball, off ball. He's gonna give you good defense. And I think his jump shot right now looks pretty solid. The problem is that he doesn't shoot a lot in the first place, okay? And secondly, his we said he doesn't get to the free throw line at all, and then his rebounding still isn't there. I do think that he's been given a better effort on the offensive rebounding aspects, but it hasn't been consistent enough in my opinion. And that needs to go up in terms of output before we can start saying, yeah, he's a bona fide starter. But that's not me saying I'm giving up on him or saying that I'm giving up on him being a starter. But for now, I mean, this is just kind of what I expect for Pat to do. Like, I mean, think about this. He played off the bench tonight, right? Pat did. But he got like basically starting-ish level minutes. Like, the 28 minutes off the bench is not normal. And he had 3 steals, which is obviously what we know he can do that, right? But he shot 2 of 6, 5 points, no rebounds tonight. That's the stuff with Pat where I'm like, you got a significant run tonight, and while I think you played pretty good, I need more. I need more before I start saying, hey, he's like a consistent bona fide starter in this league. So I'm interested to see if he can get to that point. Again, the Bulls have a decision to make coming up here, but yeah, I'm extremely interested in it. And just so we just to give you just some comparison, okay? Now, do I think Io played better than Pat tonight? No, I don't necessarily think he played better in a sense, but just look at the output from Io to Patrick Williams, okay? Io played 10 less minutes. He took 2 more shots, okay? He had 4 more rebounds, and he had 2 more assists. Yes, he didn't have the steals. I'm aware, but he had 8 points in 18 minutes. Like that to me, it just kind of shows you like the difference in a sense. So Pat just gotta do more, and it sucks to say it, but that's kind of how we measure things, unfortunately. So yeah. The road we went on was thanks to Caruso, Kobe, and Pat. DeMar will hit his assist quota, and I'll go back to being the same ISO DeMar. I mean, the thing is, even in this game, DeMar wasn't even really passing the ball like that well. Like it wasn't like he was really creating anything, and that's the part that I was like, I don't understand why we even want to try to give it to DeMar in the first place at the end of this game. It didn't make any sense because DeMar's been a very good passer, in the last month and a half. That didn't happen tonight. So like let's not try to roll with them. Like we need to roll with the other guys that were clearly playing better. Trade Zach for some Beth after this game. I mean, look, y'all, I'm not like I don't know what the front office is actually thinking. I honestly think that they're looking to still trade Zach if they get a good offer. But if they don't, then like, look, you don't have to trade him now. Like it's not necessary to trade him now. I'm not here to be like, oh, we need to keep Zach from here on out. If there's a trade that comes up, do it, right? If it's a good trade, obviously. But if you don't get a good trade for Zach, we don't need to trade him now. Like, there's no reason to trade him now. I'm sorry about the drop frames. You guys should still hear me. My internet is absolutely just not having a good time at the moment. Sorry about that. But you guys should still hear me, so I'm just gonna continue talking. But yeah, I'm not trading Zach for just nothing. If I'm gonna trade Zach, I'll trade Zach for what I think is good value back in return. But I'm not trading Zach just to trade Zach off this team. And look, I don't think that this like whole Zach's come back and we're undefeated. Like, it's not going to continue. I think the Bulls could stay on Friday. I won't be shocked if that happens. But can this team start moving forward with him and like in the standings? I do think it's possible to like start moving up in the standings, and then you're gonna have to reevaluate come the off season if you decide to move him or not. That's I think that's probably where they're gonna come down to, because the trade deadline is less than a month away now. So I don't know how desperate teams are gonna get. I think that if a team is gonna actually want Zach, then they need to have obviously a really good point guard out there, and then they need to make sure that he's the second option, not coming in and being the first option, obviously. But yeah, I'm still, if I'm AK, I'm not trading Zach just for scraps, right? Mar slows down a game even when he's having a solid game. This is a team full of athletes being slowed down by an old player. I mean, look, Fox, like, I've had my issues with DeMar DeRozan, but the game itself slows down the stretch. So, like, when DeMar when he has it going, right, and he's playing a good game, like, I don't mind him when he does slow it down, because the game itself just slows down the stretch. It's just facts, right? The defense locks in a lot. They try to take away the paint. And guys really try not to commit any turnovers, right? So the game's just going to slow down. But all I'm asking, honestly, is just in a game where DeMar does not have it going, is let's go to the dude that has it going. And obviously tonight it's Kobe White, right? There are definitely just games where you just don't need to go to DeMar, because even if you go to Kobe down the stretch, I still think the game still slows down. The game just slows down in general in the last 5 minutes. It will always slow down. But even that being said, even in a slower pace, I still think Kobe White can still effectively run the offense. He doesn't need to consistently just be playing at 110% speed just to be effective. Like, and that's the part I just don't understand. DeMar has done amazing things in his career in the clutch. And honestly, here's the thing. Maybe I shouldn't be fully blaming this on DeRozan, because it might have honestly just been Donovan calling out the plays. And so DeRozan's just like, okay, I'll just do whatever you say. But I don't know, man. It's very tough to be like, DeMar's the only reason why we're slowing down the stretch. The game just slows down the stretch. Now, has DeMar throughout games slowed the game down a little too much and has had his moments where he doesn't push the pace? Yeah, he's done that before. But I actually think he's done a good job of not doing that in, you know, the last month-ish and a half, right? And I think that's something that I've seen from him that we've been able to get away from him. Therefore, we need to, you know, if the game does slow down, it doesn't always have to go to DeRozan down the stretch. It doesn't have to. Fred VanVleet is too good against DeMar. He is never defending him, but he is such a good help defender. He bullied DeMar's effect on the game. I honestly, I'm just going to say this. The Houston Rockets, that entire team is a good team defensively. And I agree that Fred VanVleet is an underrated defender and did one hell of a job of help defense tonight. But, yeah, I do think that the Houston Rockets themselves, they're so good defensively that I'm not shocked that DeRozan had a tough game tonight. DeMar fully draws to her if he gets to the right switch. He feasts, but Fred did always do the right thing and half committed every time. Yeah, they understand. And if there's anyone that has the scouting report on DeMar DeRozan, it's Fred VanVleet. Boy, Ballot back even after getting at the lead late in the fourth has to make our team more confident as a whole. I could see it going both ways, Delbert. I think that the team itself could be like, hey, we did one hell of a job not folding, and that should give us a lot of confidence. Or we can also go the other route and saying that we gave up a lead where we had a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter and we gave it up. That to me is the big problem. That the team could also be like, we lose confidence coming in the last 4 minutes of the fourth. So we'll see. How you doing? Kick me down. Apparently through the years and the amount of times DeMar has been in the playoffs, everyone is too good against DeMar because he usually goes belly up. Well, I mean, I think the defense also in the playoffs just turns up tremendously. But yeah, I do think that DeMar is struggling in the playoffs for sure. The playoffs play good, yeah. But that being said, though, Box has a good point. Like, because DeRozan has such like a limited game in a sense, because he is such a mid-range only type guy, it does sort of limit him, right? Come playoff time, because what defenses do, especially in the playoffs, right? They always they force you to do things that you're not comfortable with. So your first option is always taken away, right? And then they try to take away your second option if that's like a big part of your offense. Therefore, you have to go to like your third and fourth options. And for DeRozan, that basically is asking him to not get his mid-range ISO shots that he is very good at creating space at, and to not get to the free throw line consistently, right? So they're forcing DeRozan to either take really tough step back, whatevers, or they're forcing him to make 3-point shots, or they're forcing him to play more off ball. Like that's how DeRozan gets kind of stuck in the playoffs. And we've seen many teams do that throughout, the times that he's been in the playoffs. If they ran Kobe, PNR said DeMar ISO in the clutch this season, he'd be dropping 40 bombs low key. I do think that maybe Kobe would have like a, would probably have a 40-point game like that. Yeah. But would it be consistent? Probably not. But I do want to see Kobe get some run where if he is having one hell of a game, let's roll with him down the stretch. Let's see. I think at this point the play should be in at MA.com. So I want to show you a couple of things that I was like, hey, this is good. Oh, hold on. I gotta refresh. The Bulls started off the fourth quarter pretty solidly, right? Where we came out, we got up to like a 16-point lead here with the 2-3, and then the Rockets took a timeout, and then they cut it back to 10. So we made a bunch of subs, okay? So this was the first play. Like, this is like, okay, we're still doing fine. Oh, we're not gonna watch the full play, unfortunately. But basically, when you watched it was Zach went down early. I'm gonna change my pen to white. Zach went down early, and then we saw Vooch come in up to here, catch the ball's in his hands. Kobe then comes down, sends a pin down. Zach comes back up. Okay, handoff play for LaVine, pick and roll, and Jalen Green it gets caught. So this is a wide open three for Zach. Like this is good. He shot it, right? That's the most important part about it. And so I'm like, hey, this is good offense. He just missed the shot. Io gets the offensive rebound. We hit a big three out of the offensive rebound. Like, okay, things are fine. Then P. Will misses this shot, unfortunately. Nice move, but he just misses it. Whatever. But the plays that I want to show you is stuff like this. Okay, let's watch this, because the Bulls were starting to run this consistently. The Bulls were running this consistently in the fourth quarter. This was the play in the fourth quarter. Okay, so here we go. White brings it up. He do pick and roll, and it's pretty much like a horn set. Obviously, Kobe's not here, but you have the basically double screen. Okay, now Zach, we've seen before in plays where Zach in this sort of scenario, he sets the screen, right? But in this case, he decides, okay, I'm not going to set the screen as Kobe's going to come off the screen. I'm just running over to the other side, right? So let's watch this, right? As this is all happening, the Rockets think, oh, well, if it's a double screen, we have to make sure we switch everything correctly. But then Zach moving out of the way takes Jalen Green out of the play. So suddenly then there's one less defender in this area. Now, this just lets Kobe get Şengün backing up, right? Now, there's no one's guarding Vooch at the moment. Weak side is this way, so they have to come over and help. But at this point, it's pretty much too late. Vooch is already in the paint without having to take a dribble, and he just goes up and stop. Okay, so that's one play, right? Keep this in mind. So that's one play. Now, next time down the floor, what do we run? The exact same play. The exact same play. Okay, the same play. And same thing. Zach is like, okay, I'm going to set the screen. I'm not going to set the screen. I'm running out here. Kobe comes off the screen. Hey, same play, okay? Same exact action. Again, Jalen Green is completely out of this play. Kobe gets Şengün backing up. Vooch is rolling hard. Like, it's all good. This is great. I love this. Vooch gets a little 6-foot floater. Good. Hey, we've scored on back-to-back possessions on this exact same play because the Houston Rockets can't guard this play. They couldn't do anything against this. This is, like, perfect, right? So, next time down the floor, what do we run, guys? What play do you think that we run the next time down the floor? The exact same play. It's the same play. The Houston Rockets can't guard crap. They can't guard this play. There's nothing they can do. It's now 2 times in a row they can't guard this play, and we're running it a 3rd time. Okay, let's see if we guard it this time. Well, they decide this time, hey, we're gonna try to trap Kobe as the screen's being set by Vooch. They try to trap him. He splits the double team. Again, Jalen Green is out of this play because Zach LaVine decides to go this way, and Kobe gets a wide open layup. It's the exact same play. The same play 3 times in a row, and the Houston Rockets can't do crap. They haven't done anything about this. Okay, they can't guard this, and so it's like, hey, we're looking good. This is really solid. Okay, and this is when I don't really understand like what happened, because this play here I don't actually remember what happened. Was this out of bounds? Okay, so yeah, I'll have to go back and watch this one, but like. Okay, so this play happens where it's not the same play, right? We didn't run the same play. With the offensive rebound, Kobe takes another 3, we missed it. All good. Okay, next possession. Again, 9-point game at this point, okay? And so now DeRozan's back in the game, okay? DeRozan is back in. Actually, where the hell did he check in? Oh, he checked in here. Oh, no, he checked out here. But when this wasn't even... No, he's in here, sorry. So DeRozan's now in at this point, right? And we ran this play with DeRozan in the game. And I just don't understand why suddenly we're not running the same play. Because, again, the Rockets couldn't guard this. Because now we're starting to run this play. Where it's straight up, okay, we're going to let DeRozan just open it up, pick and roll. He rejects the screen, tries to go. Now it's a 6-point game because we missed the 3s in the last possession. And this happens. That's just not a good shot. I'm going to be real. As much as DeRozan gets fouled, like, that's just not a good shot. Okay? So, this play here is when Bulls are coming down the floor. DeRozan does get probably hit here, and we swing it for a Vooch 3. It doesn't go down. LaVine gets the offensive rebound and puts it back up in. So this is the last time the Bulls score, I think, in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's the last time the Bulls score. It was this LaVine putback. Okay, and so coming down this time down the floor again. I don't know what exactly is happening, but I think Zach got the rebound here. And this is just bad decision making by him. He tried to drive, was trying to pass it basically the entire way. This is bad decision making. So at this point, I'm screaming, hey, we need to go back to what we were running, because the Bulls, like, or the Rockets couldn't do crap. They could not do anything about this. Bulls call a timeout. I'm like, okay, maybe Donovan is actually thinking about going back to the play where we ran 3 straight times, the Rockets couldn't guard it, and they haven't shown to us they can guard it yet, so how about we go back and do it? They don't exactly do that, but on this play, though, I was actually pretty happy with it because it's similar action, but instead of having Kobe being the point guard, it's Zach as the point guard. It's very similar in a sense, but we see here that Zach got doubled, so he then swings it over back to Kobe, and Caruso gets a wide open shot out of this. So I had no issue with this. This was fine. So this was good. Again, similar-ish play that we've been talking about, and you know, whatever. So we miss. It's fine. Zach then has this turnover, which I don't know what he was thinking. But still, though, my issue with this play still was not necessarily the Zach turnover. It was the fact that we were running this pick and roll with DeRozan when I don't know why we were doing this. It didn't make any sense. DeRozan gets like stuck here. He has to throw it back out to Zach, right? And I get it because you see Caruso's like running over this way, and so maybe Zach was thinking, okay, I can like slip it past in, and it's just too high. Not a great idea. It's not great. Okay, so again, we have not run the play that has gotten us 3 straight buckets. Like, yeah, we sort of ran in with Zach that one time, but like I still don't understand why Kobe still hasn't really been part of the hasn't been part of the lead decision making yet. That's the part I just don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me that Kobe, so for this long, right? We've been watching multiple possessions now where he's not part of the lead decision making, and it's not necessarily yet like we're, oh, DeRozan's like taking over in a sense. Yeah, DeRozan's had a few possessions where I'm just like, I don't know why we're running this, but like still, the big thing is that Kobe has not been a part of this. That's the part that doesn't make any sense. So this play here, I had to go back because I think the ball was swung here, but this was a BS call. I don't know how this is an offensive foul, honestly. I know that elbow hit Şengün, but like also I think Şengün initiated the contact, but whatever, fine. Now we're at the point where it's a 5-point game, right? And look what we're running, okay? This is typical Bulls action at like the start of a game. We see this all the time where we swing the ball back and forth. It typically starts out where it's a Kobe pick and roll here, but it's never to actually, you know, get Kobe like downhill here. It's never that, right? It's literally just to get Vucevic to come up here. He catches the ball, we swing it over to the other side because then Caruso comes down, sets a pin down for DeRozan to come up. This is typical Bulls action. Like, this isn't anything different. And now we're running this. Like, why are we doing this? This doesn't make any sense. We're settling for these shots where we were getting paint looks with other plays. It doesn't make any sense why we're doing this. Then this play, which we're only going to see the Kobe White 3-point shot, but this was just a straight up DeRozan isolation, right? This is just a straight up DeRozan isolation, and it leads to this shot. This is not Kobe's fault. Again, why are we doing this? Don't get it. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. We somehow get this call for us that was like fantastic that DeRozan sold, so credit to him. But yet again, what are we running when we get the ball back? We're trying to get the switch for DeMar DeRozan to come off. Look at where Kobe is. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And so Kobe is, in fact, like the second option here, in a sense, or should be. I don't know if he's supposed to come up. I think he's supposed to actually come up here. But why are we just only putting it into DeRozan's hands? It doesn't make any sense why we're doing this. We gotta go look out of it. Vooch needs to like do better with this shot. I don't care if you miss it, just don't miss it like this. But we haven't scored since the LaVine offensive rebound putback. And a lot of the possessions since this putback, right? Like, this is LaVine, you know, he had a good drive, but bad decision. Went out of bounds, okay? This is a pretty good play out of the timeout. It didn't work out, unfortunate, okay? Then this play here started with just DeRozan pick and roll at the top of the key, went nowhere, okay? This one here was a pretty BS call, but things happen, all right? Then DeRozan pick and roll doesn't go anywhere. Or sorry, this is DeRozan. Pick and roll doesn't go anywhere. DeRozan isolation ends up with basically a half-court shot, okay? And then this play here starts with another DeRozan pick and roll. Kobe has not been a part of the decisions or a lead decision maker in 6 straight possessions, 5 straight. And of course, then to end the regulation, we decide, hey, we're gonna go and run this play. DeRozan started the ball took the ball in with 23 seconds left to go with this play. Like, he was standing here. And there's 6 seconds left to go in the game, and he's still here. Like, not only did he not get anywhere with this play, it just doesn't make any sense. Kobe's over here. You're clearly your best player tonight is over here. I don't get it. Like, this is just terrible by Donovan. I'm gonna be real. And I was genuinely thinking, because when you actually watch Zach, right? Like, he was faking a screen this way, and then I thought that he would slip this screen, and then he's gonna come up here and set a screen for DeRozan, and so it's the DeRozan LaVine pick and roll. I was genuinely thinking this was the play, and I was like, you know what? If that's the play, fine. Like, I'll live with it. But this is the play. This is what we run at the end of a game, where DeRozan has missed 3 shots, has had multiple back-to-back possessions where it's gone nowhere. Like, this is the play. I have major questions. Like, I have some serious questions. So I don't know, man. I don't get what was happening here. This made no sense in my head. But here we go. His historical record, DeMar DeRozan, is the lowest career plus-minus in NBA playoff history. I'm not shocked at that, honestly. To be honest, DeRozan has been pretty good catch and shoot, but Billy has put him in the right spot. Right, and that's the corner. He hit multiple threes in the corner today and catch and shoot threes. He just needs to be there. And again, in a game like this, he needs to be in the corner. Like, just straight up. Once over, Zach lost the ball from dribbling, had me cringing so much. Which one? Was it in the second quarter? Because I know which one you're talking about. But I mean, like, it is what it is. Look at Kobe's body language in that last play. Oh, you mean this one? I think. Kick me down.
Tonight, the officiating end. Here is DeRozan.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be upset. Some weird ass fishing today. I mean, look, I truly do not understand how LaVine is called for an offensive foul there, because Şengün, it sucks that he got hit in the face. Like, I'm gonna be real, but like, when you watch this play, like, first off, a lot of people have always said, Zach, drive. Like, Zach, go to the basket, please. Okay, you got your wish. I don't like it personally. I think it always ends up being bad. Look, Şengün jumped into this. Like, this isn't Şengün going up. Like, he jumped into Zach. Like, this is Şengün's fault. I'm just being real. And then they don't call the foul until now. Like, now he whistles. Zach already has offensive rebound. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, this is just terrible. So I'm not blaming Zach too much on that one. Like, sure, be better, I guess. But like, I don't know. The other one, blah, blah, blah. You mean on the Kobe White shot?
DeRozan can't get free. 3 on the clock. Kobe White's got it.
Or is this before?
A little bit offensively, not a much better offensive player.
Oh, this.
LaVine.
Yeah.
Ooh, too high. Caruso couldn't save it.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. He shouldn't be standing in the corner in this game. Like, there are definitely gonna be games where Kobe should just be standing in the corner. Like, there are definitely games that should happen, but this was not one of those games tonight. So it should not have happened tonight. We should always go for the other team. I mean, bro, I'm gonna be real. The officials have been so bad this year. Like, they've been so bad. They've been terrible. Why does Mar always have to be the initiator in fourth quarter situations? I'm asking the exact same question, Magugla. I've been saying this in this entire stream. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, again, for the people that have joined, DeRozan in his time in his career and as his time as a Bull, he's hit many clutch shots. He's been very good in clutch situations. He has a lot of credibility when it comes to in the clutch. Okay, but in a game where he is struggling to shoot from the field, he's missing shots he usually makes, and Kobe White has it going. Like, Kobe's been your best player. This should be a Kobe White day. Just let let Kobe go. Let Kobe do things right. Because what did I just show you? Before, like, the two plays, like, this is before DeRozan checked in, and then even after DeRozan checked in. Like, these plays, this is all Kobe. This is all Kobe White. It's the exact same play, but he's making good decisions every single time. And he's not even scoring. Like, that's the part I just don't understand. It's like, why couldn't we run this anymore? And sure, maybe the Rockets, like, get onto this sort of set here, but, like, my God. If they start to, like, overcompensate for one, like, how they're gonna play this one set, that you just run some sort of different action and you just let Kobe just do his thing. He's made so many good decisions throughout this entire game.
There's a blitz. White splits in and scores.
I don't know. I really don't get it. I really don't. So, yeah, I'm with you. I'm truly with you. That was horrible. Definitely was horrible. Last play, we almost deserved to lose if they scored off the timeout. Oh, I mean, definitely. Yeah. And here's the thing I'm also going to say, because maybe I'm giving DeRozan too much criticism. It might honestly be just Billy. It might honestly just be him. It might be that Billy is like, even if someone's having the game of their lives, okay, he's just like, we got to go to DeRozan down the stretch. It might honestly just be him. I'm being dead honest, because someone tweeted, I think it was Nate Jones that tweeted out, like, NBA teams are just a political organization. It's politics from top to bottom. Whether it's the front office, the ownership, or the people down at the very bottom, right? It's politics, and you have to make sure that certain guys who are getting paid a certain amount of money, that they always, you know, do their thing. Or a coach is trying to save their job, right? A coach is trying to make sure that they have a job still. Therefore, they make a decision that is probably not right for that game, but it's right overall, and they can't really, like, no one can really criticize them too much if before that decision, because it would be right like every other game, right? I don't know. I truly do not know. But tonight, it was almost inexcusable. I'm sorry about the drop frames. I'm still gonna talk though. I'm so sorry though. My internet's terrible. Sorry. What do you think of the Lakers Raptors game? Oh my God, bro. I don't know how to say it. It's Darko Rajakovic, if I'm saying it correctly. I give him a lot of credit for what he did. Yeah. That to me, what the Raptors and Lakers game, which, okay, first off, like, Darko was bringing up, like, the Lakers shot, like, I think it was it 19 free throws in the last 4 minutes or whatever. 8 of those free throws were because of intentional fouling. So, like, I'm not gonna be like, okay, it was like 19 or whatever the number was. But that just shows you that the officiating just sucks. And the Lakers have been consistently getting more calls the past 2 years. And it was even more egregious last year, if you actually look at the numbers. Like, oh, this is not what I want. Hold on. Let me pull up the Steph No tweet. So this is last year, okay? This is last year. So like this number is basically calculating how many free throws a team has compared to how many their opponents take, right? So last year, whenever the Lakers played, right, they had 186 more free throws than their opponent. Like, it's not even close. It's egregious, okay? It is genuinely insane how many free throws that the Lakers get. And so this is Steph No talking about how the Lakers just always have a lot more free throws than the other teams. Now, part of that is that the Lakers do get to the paint. Like that's their entire thing. They just attack the paint constantly. But there are other teams in this league, the Denver Nuggets, right? The Memphis Grizzlies. They consistently just attack the paint. They don't shoot threes. They don't shoot a lot of threes, but yet they don't get the same calls. So, yeah. Oh, sorry. This is this season, okay? This is this season. I apologize. This was last year. The Lakers shot 476 more free throws than their opponent last season. This is this season. This is 186. So it was, as it's just showing, it was more egregious last season than it is this season. Obviously, we're not fully through the season, but it's just insane. And so, yes, it's the Lakers, but it's also LeBron. But the officials just gotta do better. Like this play here, the last play you just saw.
Gonna go for 2 again.
Like, come on.
9 fouls on Toronto in the fourth. I mean, that's come on, man.
Look, the official's already leaning, and like he hasn't even made the call.
I mean, that's come on, man.
They're just anticipating contact no matter what. And then Barnes here clearly got fouled, and nothing was called.
For 2 again.
Like that's clearly a foul, and they're just like, no. It's just terrible. If you're fining players from excessive block, maybe because it affects the game in a bad way, then officials should be fined for excessive late whistles. I agree with that, but I agree that officials should be subject to fines. And here's the thing I've always said: the officials, if they don't do calls that are like blatantly obvious, like if it was blatantly obvious someone stepped out of bounds with the ball and they didn't make the call, that's basically as if I'm working at a grocery store and I just didn't like check out someone. Like I just didn't scan their items. That's me basically not doing my job. Therefore, you should be fired, or you should at least have some severe punishment. I've also said this: the officials have been way too like quick with the technical fouls this season. Like they just give out techs like left and right. I mean, we've seen many times where a player's doing nothing and they give out a tech, and I don't understand why people don't fully understand this, but a technical foul is $1,000 fine, no matter whatever it is. Like it's always $1,000 fine. That's a lot of power to the officials, and I'm aware that these players are getting big money, but there are some players who do not get big money, who are on minimum level contracts, and while you're like, oh, it's minimum, it's still like $2 million plus. You're not even accounting taxes, okay? Like they don't have like a bunch of just extra money laying around, and officials can just suddenly be like, yeah, I'm taking $1,000 away just because my feelings got hurt. I've always said that if the league reviews that technical foul and they decide, hey, we're going to rescind that technical from that player, the official that gave out that technical foul should be then fined $1,000, because they were basically saying, I am fining this player $1,000. The league said, no, we're not gonna have that player get fined $1,000, but because at least in my head, the way it should work, because you decided that player should be fined $1,000, you should not get fined $1,000. Like, it truly does bother me when I watch officials and they clearly just, it's just that their feelings got hurt. Like, look, man, no one came to watch you play. No one gives a crap about your feelings, okay? You're not the product on the basketball floor. We're aware that you're important to the game. We are aware. We get it. I think we all know the officials are important. And yes, you're gonna make mistakes, but no one came to watch you throw out Nikola Jokic at the United Center when it was Serbia night. No one came to watch you screw up this sort of like terrible game that you decided to officiate with the Raptors and Lakers. No one came to watch that. And the officials just need to do a better job. They have to do a better job with it all. And I'm truly pissed off with how bad the officiating has gotten to, because I do think it's gotten worse. And I'm hoping that the officials, I don't know, man. There was a clip. I think it might have been from the EuroLeague. I don't exactly know which league it's from, but there was a clip where someone's clearly, I think it was actually Nikola Mirotic who was playing. Like, he stepped out of bounds, okay, and there was an official who was right there. They just saw it was in front of their eyes, okay, and they missed the call. And because they missed the call, it led to that team getting a bucket on the other end, and they won the game. The official that missed that call, they got fired after the game. Like, they're yeeted. They're gone. And Well, I'm not necessarily saying that that needs to happen. I'm just saying that if an official misses a blatantly obvious call, they need to have some sort of punishment. Whether that's you don't do games for like 2 weeks, or you just don't, you're not, I don't know, like you find something. I don't know what it is, but that there needs to be some sort of punishment for the officials who clearly just do not care and continue to make bad calls after bad calls consistently. They need to have some sort of punishment. And if this would ever work out, which I don't know how this would work out, because I do think that some journalists are also terrible when it comes to this sort of stuff, but I think officials need to have a post-game press conference. We see that the soccer or football officials have post-game press conferences and they're asked a bunch of questions. I think that needs to happen as well for the NBA, because the officials, if you really think about it, they don't have anything to fear of. They don't have any fear of the media. They don't have any fear from the NBA, the NBA as an association, or the officiating crew, okay, who runs, everything for the officials. There's no, thing they have to fear. There's nothing that tells them that they have to do a good job, okay? And that, to me, just allows officials just to kind of do whatever. And that's really dumb. Everyone needs to be held accountable. And as much as I do think that there are a lot of officials that do a lot of good, there's been a lot of officials, especially recently, who have been pretty awful. And I'm aware it's not easy. It's not. I shouldn't be here saying that officiating is easy. It's not easy to officiate. But you're being paid to do a very tough job that you've trained for. I expect you to do as best as you can. And I just don't think the officials are doing as best as they can right now. Just dead honest. And I don't know. But we're going to have to see. I'm hoping it gets better. I'm going to be real. Chloe Blitz was so nice. He saw 4 defenders. Yeah. It's good. He's recognizing how the defense is playing him. It's really solid. I don't know what Billy heard or answered that. What question? Oh, that clip from last game where a reporter asked about the ISO from DeRozan. I don't know what Billy heard or answered what question. Oh, I'll have to actually go look at that. I don't watch the post-game stuff all the time, so I'll go check that out from Billy. Brown's playing horrible, but the shot did look like something he normally would make, though. Billy has to recognize when Mars isn't locked in, though. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Can DeRozan hit that shot at the end of the game? Yeah. Can he hit the shot that he missed with like a minute left to go? Yeah. I think he hit all those shots, but those shots were missing tonight. Like, he had those shots earlier in the game. Those weren't going down. So if that's the case, then again, like you said, we need to go to someone else. Go to Kobe because he can't miss. The Kobe was just absolutely just on fire tonight. Sometimes the refs give players sex for celebrating. It's so bad. Yeah, I think that's also terrible. I don't know why we're giving out technical fouls for someone being happy. It's an emotional game in the first place. Refs would need a bodyguard at every press conference. Well, obviously it's not open up to the arena, but to all the fans. I'm just asking them to, come in obviously with security involved, and have the journalists be there and ask questions. I don't think that's a lot to ask for, honestly. Because here's the thing. Well, players, it's their job to go and do the press conference. Coaches, it's their job to go do the press conference. Officials, they go home. Nothing happens. So, a player, if they make a bad decision at the end of a game, they get questioned by the media. Coaches, if they make a bad decision, they get questioned by the media. Refs, if they make a bad call, they're nowhere to be found. It doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. So, I think that, if anything, let's start with that. Press conference for the officials, they're forced to come in and answer questions from the media. That's it. That's just at least one thing where it makes them held accountable. Because I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was an official, or the official who threw out Nikola Jokic at the United Center at Serbia night. He actually got asked, he actually gave a press conference and whatever, or he got asked kind of privately from media members, why did you throw out Nikola Jokic? And he basically just said the exact same thing over and over and over again, and really didn't give an answer. He was just Jokic, it was deemed that Jokic said something that crossed the line, therefore he was ejected. And then the person kept asking hey, So like, what specifically did he say? Was there something else that was said before, or did he make some sort of gesture? And it's just like, but it was deemed that Jokic said something that crossed the line, therefore he was ejected. Like, it's so BS. Like, that's not even like them saying anything. It's just like, okay, we saw that. We saw that you clearly thought that he said something bad, and therefore you ejected him. But like, what else was there? We need more context. Then we had a review system where there are already people screening the game along with on-floor referees. So like, that's kind of already already in place, right? Because when there is actually a time where the officials go to, like, for review, that's from Secaucus. Like, that's not that they don't owe. It's not the officials only that are on the floor at the time that make those calls. Like, it's also from Secaucus, New Jersey. So that's kind of already in place in a sense. But yeah, like, there needs to be a way where you can add that sort of like review system in without it taking up too much of the game. Because we even saw tonight where the play where DeRozan flopped, right? That stopped the game for a good like 3 minutes, and it's 40-ish seconds left remaining. That's what we're trying to avoid when it comes to all these like reviews and stuff. So, yeah, it's very tough. I understand that it's a very tough sort of like thing to balance. Yeah. All right, hold on. I want to pull over Twitter to my other monitor. Let me go pull up Casey Johnson. Anything? No. And then after this. Okay, nothing from Casey Johnson at the moment. Actually, I'm gonna go to Cody Westerland. Back. Okay, so there is actually some stuff here. So let's listen to Billy. So, as you can see on the screen, this is Billy detailing why he called for the DeRozan isolation at the end of regulation. And I just want to hear what he has to say. Hold on, I'm turning up the volume for you guys.
You guys don't get too much DeMar centric at the end of games in those ISO situations.
Well, the regulation was on me because just going back and watching them on film, they've got, you know, a real history of what I would say just running and trapping the ball, whoever's got it.
Loading up on the
and I just was concerned about running actions and getting too many people in too tight of a space and there being traps and not being able to find somebody. So I kind of created the space that way on purpose just because they had shown that quite a bit, and I just wanted to make sure if it was DeMar or Zach or Kobe, if either one of them had the ball and they were trapped, they had to have some outlets. So that's why the floor was spaced. And you know, I didn't get a real good look at it. It looked like Van Fleet was moving up the lane line almost to run to Zach, and I think Zach's man was going to maybe run to DeMar. I just wanted to make sure if DeMar had the ball in that situation, there was enough room to make a play. But that last play, that's why I did that in that situation. Outside of that one, I thought we had some pick and rolls. I didn't think that, you know, there was some opportunities I thought to hit Vooch on the roll. Sengun changed up his coverage. Sometimes he was back and Kobe was turning the corner. Then they kind of came up and started to blitz it a little bit, and we found Vooch in the pocket. But I thought we got out of rhythm a little bit, even though I thought we generated some good shots. But because we were out of rhythm, I didn't think we shot the ball well.
Okay, so Donovan took full responsibility for the end of regulation. So that was 1000% his call for the DeRozan isolation. That's what he explained why he wanted isolation. He explained that he didn't want some some sort of double team to kind of happen, and he wanted to force space as much as possible to make sure that DeRozan got a good shot off in a one-on-one. Now, let's just talk about that first off, okay? Let's just talk about that for one more second. Like, sorry, that's extreme. Sorry about that. I turned up the volume for you guys so you can hear the Donovan quote. So look, I get it. Like, if that's what you really want, fine. But here's just what I would just say, because, and now, like, I'm not a coach, but I mean, I do this basically for, like, I watch all this stuff all the time. If you're worried about a double team coming, okay, then I think this spacing's all fine. Like, this is all fine, because if they decide to double team DeRozan here, then obviously Zach's open. If Zach then gets covered, then Kobe's open over here. So I get that, but at the very least, right, I would want my two players involved in the action, and if one player just happens to get doubled, fine. And if the other player, if they don't decide to double, then I think you basically get the exact same shot that that you would have gotten in this sort of scenario. So whether that's Zach coming on over to set a screen, because if they double team DeRozan here, right, on the double team off the Zach pick and roll, then Zach's wide open here, and I'm gonna guess that Şengün doesn't want to run out to here. If he does, then Vooch is wide open. Okay. Ideally, at least in my head, okay, what you really should be doing here is some sort of action with these three guys, and then, I don't know, like, who knows what happens after that. Because if you're running action for these three guys over here, oh, sorry, I moved to highlighter. If you're running action for these three guys over here, I don't think that there's a double team coming. And what I could see coming out of this is, like, okay, Zach comes down here, White goes up, like, I don't know, just kind of just do something weird in a sense. And then maybe after all this movement, like, maybe it's like 8 seconds left to go, then Kobe, who's like over here at this point, comes over, sets a screen for DeRozan, because then at this point, I just don't think there will be a double team no matter what. Like, and then the only way that they would double team is off the Kobe DeRozan pick and roll. But then if they double team DeRozan, then Kobe's wide open over here. At least that's just how I would kind of at least look at it. And I'm not asking for, like, some sort of complex play. Like, I'm not asking for them to, like, run like this, like, ridiculous pick and roll type, action wheelie. Like, I'm not even asking for that. I'm just asking for something other than this. That's all I'm really honestly asking for. Obviously, if DeRozan has it going, then I think this is a perfectly fine shot. I have no issues with this. But he didn't have it going, and the dude that had it going is over here. Just, I don't know. Odd. Now, Donovan also mentioned how, like, for some of these other plays that he thought that they missed Vooch. I do think that could also be the case. And this wasn't necessarily him, right? This wasn't, like, his call. So, like, right here, maybe Vooch needs to roll a little bit harder, but I guess this could be one. But this is also, like, an open for DeRozan. And then this one. We'll have to look back at this play later, I guess. But I guess I could see it. Definitely in this one, though, with the LaVine offensive foul.
Zach LaVine drive.
Vooch could have definitely had a dump-off pass here. But at the same time, I don't mind Zach taking this one because he had a pretty direct line drive. But yeah, the Bulls just in the end, at the end of games, they just got to be better. DeMar has been decent at dealing with full commit double teams with this season, in my opinion. Don't know why he would be scared of it. I agree with you. And that's the part that just mind boggles me the most, because, like, if let's say they do double, like, one, I think they're stupid, but two, you still get what it, like, then obviously Kobe gets a shot. But let's say they don't double, and you run the action that I just suggest, you still get the same shot that you got here. Like, it's the same shot. Like, if let's just say it's just a simple pick and roll with DeRozan and Kobe. Like, let's say that they do double, then Kobe's open over here. But if let's say that they don't double, then DeRozan has a 1-on-1 isolation over here. And obviously Zach, moves to the corner. Like, it's the same shot. Yeah, I don't know. Decisions that a coach has to make that I'm not in that position. So it is what it is. But that being said, the Bulls go ahead and face the Golden State Warriors on Friday night at the United Center. Warriors have been struggling. So this is like similar records overall. And let's see if the Bulls can go out and get this one. The defense for the Warriors has not exactly been great. As you can see here, the defense is ranked 22nd. Offense, obviously, for the Warriors. We know that the Warriors, even with some of their struggles, they're still a very, very scary team to face. 3-point shots always go in for them. So the Bulls need to be on their A game. Now, the thing that I'm going to be interested to see how the Bulls approach this, because tonight's different, right? The Rockets, they have length everywhere. They got Sengun's not the best shot blocker, but they can switch really effectively. They got length on the wings. Obviously, Dylan Brooks wasn't there tonight, but and also Tari Eason. But like guys like Jabari Smith Jr., Jayshawn Tate, and even to an extent like Jeff Green in a sense. Like these guys are like they're pretty lengthy, and you see that the Rockets they like protect the paint pretty effectively. So tonight, we had to hit our threes against the Warriors though, because of their lack of size and also their lack of defenders on the squad. Bulls need to be attacking the paint all game against the Warriors. This might actually be one of those games where the Bulls are actually bigger. And the biggest thing is this. It's not necessarily about the Warriors, not having like a rim protector in a sense. It's about the fact that their defenders, like their lengthy defenders, are not exactly that lengthy. Therefore, I think the Bulls should have a pretty decent chance of getting to the basket and finishing. But Steph Curry is obviously always a threat, so we got to make sure that he doesn't go off, which he probably still will. But this Warriors team defensively has not been as good. They turn the ball over a ton. So if you take care of the basketball and you capitalize on the Warriors' mistakes and you, I think, get to the basket a lot and get to the free throw line, I think the Bulls win this game. I'm going to just kind of say that I'm not entirely sure. This is still kind of, at least in my head, it does lean Warriors because it is the Warriors and they have the best player on the floor. So I kind of been just saying this, but it could be a question mark. It could be a question mark game and see if the Bulls can win it. So Bulls need to be keyed in, obviously, defensively and commit those turnovers because then you can go out and get a lot of fast break points. But then I think you should be attacking the paint in this game and not, play the game like how you played it against Houston. Because you had to hit your perimeter shots tonight against Houston. Against Warriors, don't think that's necessary. So I'll be interested to see how this is going to work out for them. And then obviously we would face 1B again on 18th. So big games coming up here. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming. Kind of just a little quick side note here. Are you keyed on MJ Pippen reunion? I will also be keyed. It's actually a good thing to point out. And one play where Kobe dribbled through the whole Rockets team was cold. Oh yeah. Again, why I wanted him to at least be in control of this this game down the stretch. Westerland also tweeted out about Kobe saying like Kobe pushed back at the knee. The Bulls ignored him / looked away from him in the fourth quarter. He pointed out he ran 4 double drag plays in which he found Nikola Vucevic in the pocket. Said the Rockets king on me and looked to the teammates. So maybe it also then was fatigue kind of setting in for Kobe. Kobe did play a lot of minutes in this game, so that could also be the reason why he was not playing or he was not really handling the ball as much down the stretch. So that's also another thing I didn't factor in. Kobe played 43 minutes tonight, most out of anybody. Could have been also that. And then obviously the drag plays I talked about, plays that the Rockets can. So, but back to what I was saying. We'll see about my streaming availability for either of these games. Biggest thing is that there might be again some changes kind of coming to this channel a little bit. I think you guys have kind of already seen that I'm not really uploading videos. I'm at the moment for now. That's probably not going to change. I don't know if if a trade happens, then I'll probably upload one. But I've kind of decided to just kind of step back from that. The streams have actually been doing really well. I'm actually like really happy with the stream and with the viewership and everything. So, I actually just find the streams just more enjoyable. And I'm gonna continue obviously doing it. Here's the thing though. I am starting a new job very soon. It's gonna be starting next week. So, as of right now, the plan is to continue kind of doing what I've been doing. Um, I plan on continuing streaming after post games. Um, but because of kind of some of the job stuff, I will kind of have to see if I do have to start maybe going back to some videos because there might be just some games that I'm not able to either fully watch or do have enough energy to do like a post game stream. But as of right now, the plan is still that what it Sunday through Thursday, if there's a Bulls game, then I'm gonna be streaming after those games. Okay, that's kind of I've been kind of on that schedule for a while now, and I'm gonna continue. I think right now as well. Again, who knows? Or no, excuse me. Sorry, Monday through Friday. I'm so sorry. Monday through Friday, it will be no matter what. I'm gonna be continuing to stream Bulls. Now, Friday is still kind of like a question mark, like a little bit, but I should be able to continue streaming on Fridays. I know I haven't been doing it recently, but that's going to switch again. So throughout the weekdays, I should be able to be streaming after each Bulls game. The weekends is where I'm a little bit questionable, and it's not just my job that I'm going to be starting, it's also some other reasons as well. So be prepared for weekend streams to probably not gonna happen. So that's gonna be potentially the change. I know that it kind of sucks because I know a lot of you only have time during the weekend, but that's unfortunately I think kind of what I'm gonna have to do from here on. So yeah, that's that. I again don't plan on even with like new job and everything. But this channel's not gonna die. This channel's not gonna die. I will still be here. And if the Bulls suddenly go on a 20-game losing streak, I'll still be here. And yeah, and I hope you guys continue just to tune in. Congrats, thank you. I appreciate the congratulations. It's not anything spectacular as a job, but I'm just happy to. I'll just say I'm just happy to have it. I'm very grateful. So, yeah. Hopefully you're available when the Bulls hit 500. Yeah, I'm also hoping that, but I'm also aware how things kind of life happens. Unfortunately, this what I do on stream with you guys cannot be my main source of income. I would love for it to be, but unfortunately, I don't get any income from these streams due to not having 1,000 subscribers yet. So I know that I need to make videos to kind of hit that mark, but I don't know if I have the time. So. No matter what, though, even though I'm not getting any sort of income from this, I'm still going to be here. And yeah, hopefully the Bulls actually get back to 500. Because I don't know, man. I think it should happen, but there's always questions. All right. But on that note, just want to say thank you for all tuning in tonight. Pretty good overall Bulls win, even though the last minutes of regulation was pretty awful. And I should see you guys on Friday. All right. If not already, hit the like button on the stream. Helps me out a ton. Please share the channel. It truly will help me out if we can get to 1,000 subscribers. It would truly help me out. I know it's very tough, but it would be very fun if I could get to that mark. All right. I'll see y'all on Friday. Hopefully, new job. We'll see. But I should be here on Friday. But stay safe, y'all. Peace.